Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We always love having discussions here on the channel. And Mom, how are you doing today?
I am doing just fine. Brandon, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good, good, good. Well, Brandon, guess what? We're going to do something new today.
Ooh, what's that?
We're actually going to have a discussion about what we've thought so far of the current TV series season.
Yes, I'm definitely very excited for that. We've had quite a bit of shows that we've covered.
Yeah, we have, and we figure with all the shows that we have seen, that the audience would like to know what we've actually thought overall. We've just kind of hit upon the first episodes of shows, and we've done a little bit of reflecting upon the first episode. But we were always asked the question of, do we continue watching these shows afterwards? And so I thought we'd spend some time just kind of talking about which shows that we have looked at or watched this season, and we have decided to actually explore a little further, and which shows do we like and which shows have turned out in our eyes anyway to be shows that have not hit it off with us.
I'm looking forward to this.
All right, Brandon. So first of all, let's talk about comedy shows, because comedy shows are the shows that we kind of really like and we gravitate towards. And so if we just speak about, at this point in time, just about new, which comedy shows, based upon all that we've seen so far, have stood out? Maybe just your first, maybe two or three have stood out as being some of the best for this season.
And you said for the new shows?
Yes, let's do new shows right now.
Okay, I had to think. It's like, what shows were new? I'm really getting into Happy's Place.
Yes, that is a good show. I'm getting, I liked Happy's Place from the first start, but I like the way that they have built upon Happy's Place. I was worried it was going to be one sided, meaning that it was just all going to take place in the bar. And I like that they were gotten to the point where we're getting to know the characters, and all the characters are being introduced really well. And they've all kind of had their, not all of them, but they've kind of had their one episode that kind of gives a little bit more depth. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. I like that we're sort of exploring the mystery as to who Happy was, yeah, and the role that he played within, the lives of the different characters and the different relationships that he seems to have. And I think what's kind of fun about that is that obviously we've never seen him as an audience, but we're learning about him and sort of the complexities that he was the absentee father for Isabella, but then in the same regard, apparently not as much as we thought.
Yeah, yeah, and they're trying to explore that a little bit now. And then, Brandon, one of the shows that I kind of like, I know you mentioned Happy's Place, was I like Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. That one, I liked it from the first episode, and it's one that I look forward to each week watching. Brand, do you agree with that, or is there another show that you kind of would like to give us a number two?
Oh yeah, I would definitely give that as a number two. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, now that we've mentioned it, I have only seen the second half of the Thanksgiving episode, so thanks for the reminder for me to go back to the beginning of that. But I really really enjoy that show. I feel like the flow works really well, and we mentioned during our discussion about that from the first episode that they said like we're a laughing kind of show. You know, with the studio audience, and I love that. Nothing wrong with single camera, but the live in front of the studio audience feel has always been the one I've always loved. So I kind of like that we get to see that new dimension for these characters and learning more about them every week.
All right. And then let's talk about the dramas and mysteries. I'm going to combine them in together at this point, because for the most part, those are more hour shows. And so there were three shows that I ended up really liking. And so I'll name mine. I'll let you name yours. Okay. And so first of all, Brilliant Minds. That was a show that we both talked about, that we had actually missed like 4 or 5 episodes before we discovered it. And then we watched the first episode, and I watched the first episode and absolutely loved it. I thought it was a show that kind of gives a lot of depth and makes you actually think a little bit. And then I like the way they're doing the characterization with them. I think they're kind of doing a really good job of exploring each of the characters. And so for me, that's one of the dramas and drama slash mysteries that I like. I do like High Potential. I like that from the very start. I think they're doing a great job with that. And then my other show is Matlock. All right, Brandon, do you agree, disagree, something different? What do you have?
Yeah, so I actually have different categories for my for you.
Okay, what do you have?
Okay, so for me, I'd say my favorite pilot episode. I would
All
say
right.
for that, that would have to go to Brilliant Minds, just because I feel like that from the first scene, it just captivated us. That we knew exactly
Mhm.
what we were getting into. We had a little bit of mystery and of intrigue backstory, but it's not overly drawn out backstory. I mean, I think it was just beautifully done for Brilliant Minds first episode.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, and in terms of, I think the funnest show to watch, I would say would have to easily be High Potential, just because I mean, even though it is a drama show, I feel like we get equally as much comedy from Morgan Guillory, and everything. I like that we're now exploring a little bit with her daughter. Yeah, we haven't seen as much of her daughter at the beginning of the series, but now I like that we're getting even more of her, and so I like that it sort of balances that mystery aspect of it, the cop show sort of, but it's just a fun watch.
Yeah, it is a fun watch. All right. Did you have any others, or is that?
So yeah, so the final category, which I'd say the one that I anticipate the most would be Matlock. I mean, I don't think there's any contest to say that I'm just really excited. I love a was that I love a good mystery, especially one that sort of unveils itself. It's one of those where for these other shows you always sort of know that well, of course the good guy's going to win. I mean that's self-explanatory, but for Matlock, I think it actually sort of keeps me on my feet a little bit because every time that you think something's going to go in a certain way, it has a way of proving you wrong. Um, and I kind of like that intrigue, that like waiting for that next moment.
Yeah, same here. I think they're really doing a good job with. Once more, like we say, character is so important, and so with Matlock, I think is what I really like is that they're able to take a scene that looks innocent and then turn it around to show that she was doing something else in the process, and I really kind of like that. And then we've got well, at least one dramedy that we have seen, and unless you've seen more, Brandon, the one that I'm referring to is St. Dennis's. I think is St. Denis Medical. I think.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. They've only aired 3 episodes, but I absolutely love it. Um, and so I look forward to continuing to watch that one. Brandon, were there any dramedies or any other type of category of shows that are new this year that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I definitely like St. Dennis Medical, and yeah, I know going into it, I know we were like, is this a show we're gonna like, or is this one of those ones where it's like, we'll watch the first episode and decide later? But I mean, I definitely am enjoying it. I know we're not like the most per se, I guess, fond of the mockumentaries. I mean, so just in general, but I'd say that this show, uh, like, I'd easily continue watching it.
Yes, yes. And just so the people have a context of the time period in which we're taping this on November 26th. And so we're referring to, of course, things that we've seen, prior to this time period. And let's talk a little bit about any disappointments. For me, Brandon, there's one disappointment out of all the shows that we've watched, and that has to be Papa's House. Yeah, although I've seen every episode, I don't. For me, it's not quite working. I can't put my hand on why, but it's not quite working. For you, Brand, any disappointments for you?
Yeah, it would have to be Papa's House for me too, and I, watching it week after week, episode after episode, I don't know. Like I think I said from the very beginning that something just felt off,
Mhm.
and I couldn't really, put my hand on it. I mean, like I like some of the characters, such as,
They're all Damons.
but yeah, but for Papa's House, like I said, there's some characters that I've definitely liked. For instance, I think about Dr. Reed, played by Essence Atkins. I mean, I really, like her character, and I like her interactions with Papa. I think I don't even mind Papa's character, but there's something about the show that just really, I don't know, I don't know, it's not really working for me.
Yeah, I agree there too. And then, Brand, let's talk a little bit about the returning shows. We purposely talked about the new shows because it's been 3 months, of course, since some of these new shows have started, and we have not discussed this. So I thought it was best to kind of do it all at one time. But let's talk about some of the returning shows, and you can be for any category that you like. For me, for the positive for returning shows, for me, Lopez always makes me laugh, so I enjoy watching that. And then The Neighborhood. Both of those are the two I look forward to for returning shows each week, and I don't miss them. All right, G. Brandon.
Yes, I definitely say, both of those. I'll say that for Lopez versus Lopez. I mean, I've always enjoyed the show, but I would say that this is probably my favorite season thus far.
Okay, great. Great. Why is it your favorite season?
I think, yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate, like I said, that the show is able to tackle tough topics. Yeah, as we have seen within the first two seasons, and it is, yeah, of course, still within this third season. But in the same regard, I like that this season we're able to have a little bit more fun with it. I mean, from the extravagant, um, you know, uh, yeah, fiance feud that they had on the first episode of the season premiere, to now we even got to see Quentin's parents come by. I mean, I think this is just such a comedic season thus far, and I like that we're able to sort of tap uncharted territory for the show.
Yes, that's true. And let's talk a little bit about what people probably don't know that we're watching, and meaning that, we talk a lot about shows, but we watch, of course, more things that we can never really discuss because they're just so many different varieties. But one of the things I will admit that I'm watching right now is I'm kind of binging, and I'm binging Scarecrow and Mrs. King. The reason being that I was overseas when the show came on. I mentioned that when we talked about the first episode of Scarecrow. And so I missed basically season 2 through 4. And so we're now on season 3, I think episode 20, 21, something like that. And so, almost done with season 3, and then we'll be headed to season 4. And so that is something that I'm kind of watching. We're watching. Maybe we'll discuss on a later chat when we're finished with, all the episodes and kind of put something together about it. But that's one of the things that I'm kind of binging right now. Brandon, are you binging anything on your side?
Well, first of all, I am watching Scarecrow and Mrs. King with you.
Yes, yes, yes. When I watch something, I bring the whole family along.
But yeah, so I really do, enjoy the show. I like seeing the escapades. I feel like I mean, even though it's a very episodic show, which I like, um, I like that we're starting to now get some character progression too,
Uh-huh.
with them, and I like that we're able to see a little bit more of the kids than we did earlier in the series.
Yeah, we are. We are. We're at the point where they're starting to do that. And I think we're almost at the point where I guess at some point in time, Lee does meet the family. I mean, I know he's seen the family and they've seen him, but not in the sense of any real type of storyline, just a one off type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of happens a little later. And then what's next for us, Brandon? I know one of the things that we talked about that we're going to watch is we need to binge The Rookie from last year because we did not watch it. We still have one episode left of the year prior, and then we still have all 10 episodes to watch before it premieres in January. So that's one of the things that we'll be doing in December is kind of watching The Rookie. Did I leave a show out that we said that we were going to watch? Although we only have a month. Um,
I feel like there's so many shows to watch, and yes, for the rookie, we have one episode to go of season 5, and we never did finish, even though we liked it and watched it. We never did finish the now series finale of the Rookie Feds that was on. Hopefully, the the season 5 finale of the Rookie didn't tie into that because I'm not sure if the Feds are still available at this point in time. A year later, and then all of season 6. Heading up to season 7 that comes back in January.
yeah, we'll be talking about the first episode of season 7 and maybe even talking about the finale of season 6. It might even be on the same episode at the rate we're going. But yes, so that's something that we have on the horizons to do. And just to let the audience know some of the things that I do like to watch that's not necessarily things that we talk about on here, and not to say that it may not show up, is I do watch a lot of HGTV and I watch a lot of game shows. So I have been watching the new game shows so far this season. The Floor is what I've enjoyed. I know it's not new for this season, but I've enjoyed that coming back. And so it comes on tomorrow. So I look forward to watching that tomorrow. Brandon, are there any other episode or shows that you want the audience to know that you're kind of watching that they may not know?
As of right now, I have not been watching anything new or old per se, returning outside the stuff that we've been doing on the channel. On my to watch list, though, is season 2, part 2 of Ninjago Dragons Rising. It's been out for like a month or two at this point in time, but I usually watch it with my brother, and of course he's off at college, and so hopefully we'll have enough time to watch it over this Thanksgiving break. But that's definitely on my to watch list. And then to comment on what we were mentioning earlier of the many, many things that we have on our list. Something I was hoping to watch with you in December, although we'll probably have to be 2025 now, and just because we have a lot on our plate, is I do want to, with you, watch the end of season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For me, a rewatch, but for you, a first watch, but we'll have to see when our calendars align back up.
Yeah, I know. I think I'll have to end up watching all of Scarecrow and Mrs. King before I'll be able to tackle that one. And then, I'm sorry, and I left out Children Ruin Everything. That's a show that we both love to watch. And so we know that that comes on in the beginning of December, so we'll be watching that. And then, do we want to tell the audience something we'll be doing a little different in for December?
You can go right ahead.
All right. Brandon wants me to tell you guys we are going to attempt, and we use the word attempt, to have some sort of an episode every day in December. We're doing a little pre taping now. We'll see how that goes. And we'll let you know if we make it. And we hope to have another discussion like this toward the end of December so we could talk about some of the things that we watched in December. One of the things that I will say that we do look forward to, I look forward to anyway, watching a lot of the holiday shows. And we know that that's already started. So maybe we'll be able to incorporate some of that within our month of December. All right, Brandon, anything else you'd like to bring up before we close off?
Yeah, if there are any questions, yeah, like I said, that you have for us, definitely let us know. I mean, we've been watching shows for, yeah, at this point, over a year, almost a year and a half now. And so, yeah, if there's any questions that you have about, some of the shows that we've previously spoken about, let us know.
Oh yeah, and let us know what you think the hits or misses of this TV season for this year, or maybe the returning shows. Write that in the comments so we can know. All right,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so is there anything that you were looking forward to, yeah, as the season ends out, like any finales? Because I think thus far, High Potential is the only one that actually had a fall finale thus far.
Yeah, that's the only one we've seen, and we said we talk about that in a future episode. But no, right now there's not because we haven't had hints of the other ones having a finale per se. Brilliant Minds is going on a little longer than I thought, which I'm very happy about because I thought I read somewhere that was going to be a limited, but I'm happy to see as many episodes as they produce because I really do like it. Um, but yeah, now at this point in time, I'm looking forward to like I said, watching some of the holiday shows and to see how that goes because I know they're going to start with the reruns as they normally do in December.
Yes, and I know I'm looking forward to one. I'm looking forward to seeing, Matlock return, just in about a week or so. I'm hoping that they have, like I said, a fall finale of sorts. So that way, it at least gives us a chance to speak about it before the season ends. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many shows out there that I'm excited to dive into, and some older shows that I want to, revisit.
Yep, same here, Brandon. But we thank all of you guys for listening to us today, and we look forward to speaking with you guys next month as we try to do another one of these. All right, everybody, have a great day and have a great holiday weekend.
We'll see you next time.
All right, bye bye, everybody.